picked it up?
Now it was a state case. The feds came, picked it up. They had a ruling in the Supreme Court that went in my favor, and the case got dropped by the judge. The case got dropped. They went appeal to.
What if I told you that Boosie Badazz, the rapper who's always made headlines for his raw honesty, wild controversies, and outspoken personality, has just received not one, but multiple honorary degrees? Yes, you heard that right. Boosie, the man who turned struggles into success and never backed down from being his authentic self, has now been recognized by institutions that celebrate his influence beyond music. But here's the catch. There's more to this story than what meets the eye. Today, we're diving deep into the 5 secrets behind Boosie's Gosie new honorary degrees, and trust me, the reasons will surprise you. From his hidden contributions to education, his impact on culture, to the untold influence he has had on young entrepreneurs, you're about to see Boosie in a whole new light. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll realize his journey is not just about music, it's about legacy. Boosie Badazz, born Torrance Hatch Jr., has always been a name that sparks conversation. Whether you love him for his unapologetic attitude or criticize him for his bluntness, there's no denying that he has left his fingerprints on hip-hop and culture as a whole. For years, his career has been defined by chart-topping songs, headline-making controversies, and a loyal fan base that never lets his name fade away. But now, Boosie is in the spotlight for a very different reason: honorary degrees. Yes, the same Boosie who once faced immense struggles in his personal life has now been honored by institutions that want to celebrate his influence beyond music. And while the headlines may simply say Boosie receives honorary degrees, there are 5 powerful secrets behind this recognition that show us just how far he has come. One of the biggest misconceptions about Boosie is that he only represents street culture and entertainment. But behind the scenes, Boosie has always pushed for education, especially in his own community. Many don't know that he has quietly funded scholarships for underprivileged students in Baton Rouge and beyond. For Boosie, education isn't about sitting in a classroom. It's about giving young people the tools to escape cycles of poverty and violence. When universities decided to honor him, they weren't just celebrating his music career. They were recognizing the impact he made on students who never thought they'd have a chance. This is one of the untold secrets. Boosie's influence has extended into classrooms, inspiring kids to pursue their dreams, whether in music, business, or academics. And that kind of impact is exactly what honorary degrees are meant to highlight. Boosie isn't just a rapper, he's an empire builder. Over the last decade, he's launched multiple business ventures, including his clothing line, Boosie Juice liquor brand, and his film production projects. While many see him as just a controversial celebrity, Institute
A++ grade. I want every African to go and see this movie. Rush to the theaters, just like we did for Black Panther. From what I've learned, Art, this movie Sinners, produced by Ryan Coogler and his beautiful African queen, and of course starring our good brother Michael B. Jordan. Delroy Lindo is in there, one of my favorite actors. This movie Sinners is the first horror movie.
Institutions awarding him honorary degrees saw something bigger. A businessman who reinvented himself and showed younger generations that there's life beyond fame. By turning his raw talent into long-term business opportunities, Boosie demonstrated the entrepreneurial spirit that colleges love to highlight. His story teaches students that
with him, I've been with him for a few years. He got a call, he stepped out on the balcony. I hear him saying, okay, what, 80 to 100? Okay, I'm out the way. He hangs up, calls somebody else and say, hey, get from over there, stay from over there. Then, you know, they say they gonna come through. They talking about 80 to 100. So I tell the chick, he probably doing some dirty talking on the phone about some marijuana, some dumb shit, right? I'm on Clubhouse telling my Houston boy,
you don't always need a perfect academic path to achieve success. You can carve out your own lane and still be recognized at the highest levels. That's a lesson worth celebrating, and it played a huge role in why he was chosen for these degrees. Love him or hate him, Boosie has influenced culture in ways few others have. From viral interviews to trend-setting lyrics, his personality has shaped conversations far beyond hip-hop. But here's the secret. Universities are recognizing that cultural contribution is just as valuable as traditional academic work. Think about it. Culture inspires new courses, discussions, and research topics. By honoring Boosie, institutions are acknowledging that pop culture, especially hip-hop, is a legitimate force that shapes the way society thinks, talks, and evolves. His honorary degrees aren't just a recognition of his music. They're a recognition of how his voice, no matter how controversial, has become impossible to ignore when conversations about freedom, authenticity, and resilience arise. One of the most overlooked sides of Boosie is his role as a mentor. Whether it's speaking to younger rappers, giving advice on independence in the music industry, or telling raw stories from his own life, Boosie has positioned himself as a living textbook of survival and wisdom. He's someone who turned mistakes into lessons and setbacks into stepping stones. Universities awarding him honorary degrees are acknowledging the fact that knowledge doesn't just come from books, it comes from lived experiences. Boosie's story, full of challenges, prison time, recovery, and redemption, is a case study in resilience. Students can learn just as much from his journey as they can from lectures in a classroom. This secret highlights how academic institutions are broadening their definition of who qualifies as a teacher. Finally, the most powerful secret behind Boosie's honorary degrees is his story of redemption. Years ago, he was facing prison sentences, legal troubles, and personal battles that many thought would end his career. But instead of disappearing, Boosie...
I couldn't go on. Once I gave somebody my word, he ain't got no seal paperwork. I just couldn't bag out on dude, Once I give somebody my word, I gotta go on some factual shit, and it was... So I went down there, I was gonna perform, I went down there, I was gonna perform. I ain't know nothing until I got in the Louis store buying my outfit.
Oh, you didn't see the whole back and forth, the 50 and each and everything?
No, I'm talking about when it was time to...
Oh, okay, so right, because the concert was still gonna happen.
I saw the back and forth with them, I saw the back and forth with them, like before the concert.
He rebuilt himself. He came back stronger, more determined, and more focused on creating a legacy. Universities love stories of redemption because they remind students that failure isn't the end. It's a chapter in a bigger book. By honoring Boosie, they're sending a message that anyone, no matter how far they've fallen, can rise again. His honorary degrees symbolize not just who he is today, but how far he has come from where he once was. Now, let's step back and look at the bigger picture. Why does this matter? Why should we care that Boosie has honorary degrees? The answer lies in how society defines success. For years, success was measured by academic achievements, financial wealth, or social status. But Boosie's recognition shows us that success can also mean influence, resilience, and cultural impact. It proves that lived experiences can hold just as much value as classroom learning. And most importantly, it shows that institutions are beginning to value voices from all walks of life, even those that don't fit the traditional mold. Boosie's story also speaks to anyone who has ever been underestimated. He's living proof that you don't have to fit into society's neat boxes to earn respect. You can be yourself, loud, unapologetic, flawed, and still be celebrated for the impact you've made. So as we look at Boosie standing proudly with his honorary degrees, remember this: it's not just about a rapper holding a piece of paper. It's about a man who turned his struggles into lessons, his voice into influence, and his life into a story that others can learn from. The 5 secrets behind his honorary degrees: his hidden advocacy for education, his entrepreneurial rise, his undeniable cultural impact, his role as a mentor, and his redemption story, all combine to paint a picture of someone who refuses to be defined by limits. Boosie Badazz has always been real with us, and now the world of education is being real with him, acknowledging that his story deserves to be honored.